under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right,
I knew we couldn't make the meeting.
roll call.
Snyder?
Yes.
Jankowski?
Yes.
Martini?
Yes.
Newman?
Yes.
Jennings? Clark?
All right, so just an update on that. Jennings emailed us. I will read it. You can enter it. He said, "Dear Water Board members, please accept this letter as my formal resignation from Wolverine Lake Board effective 8/19/2026." It goes on for a bunch of stuff, but Kyle resigned, so I'll, I guess, make a motion to accept Kyle's resignation.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, and then make a motion to excuse Jim and Matt, since they told us in advance that they won't be here.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, agenda additions?
Yeah, I have one. Last month, we discussed the goose roundup issue, and I was supposed
Yeah.
to follow up,
Yeah.
but I didn't see it listed on any of the items, so could we
Okay.
please add it as 8F?
Okay, so we'll add Goose Roundup under 8F. Motion to approve the agenda as amended.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, approval of the minutes. I'm going to take a minute because I didn't get a chance to actually read it.
Yeah, I did.
I'm sorry, can I add one thing to the agenda? Or we pass it? I'll just bring it up under board member discussion.
Okay, perfect.
All right.
This looks reasonable. It has the residents that came in, biochar discussion, mass discussion.
Make a motion to approve the minutes from the regular July 15, 2026 meeting.
A second. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Call to the public. No public. We'll get you in a second. All right, new business we'll skip, and we're going to start with the special guest that we have here today. So last meeting, we talked about this product, biochar. So the company responsible is here to come and discuss it with us tonight. So welcome. You just come right over there, jump up to the microphone, and let's.
You might need to raise it. You're a tall guy. See if that
All
works.
right, is it on?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
it's
think
good.
it-
You're good. Thank you.
Hi, I'm
First off, thanks for coming.
anytime.
Appreciate you coming in to talk to us tonight. So why don't you introduce yourself, and then we'll go from there.
Well, hi, I'm Jonathan Wyrock, the founder and CEO of Capture Tech, and we're here to talk about our biochar capture packs for removing excess nutrients and any contaminants from the lake, as well as the genomic analysis we do to look at how the lake is functioning and how the nutrients and minerals are cycling through the lake.
Great.
Sweet.
So, yeah, brought a couple of the bags with us today, for the biochar capture packs. I don't-
Perfect.
Want me to pull them out now?
Yeah, sure.
I'd like to
Sure.
see it, yeah.
So we have two versions. We have the one that we have been using, which is our hand rolling one, which is this guy,
Okay.
which would be attached upwards underneath the dock.
It stands vertically,
Stands
so you
vertically,
need to have like at least that deep.
at least that deep.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you can check it out if you want.
Yeah, sure.
How does it actually remain vertical? Looks like it would
It's
flip.
So once it absorbs about 800 times its weight in water.
Uh-huh.
So when you pull that thing out of the water for the first couple seconds, it's about 800, that's about 200 pounds.
Is it really?
Wow.
Is it?
You know, it's probably, 50, 100 pounds after a second or two.
Yeah.
Sure.
But we also, we just improved our process, so now we can produce 100 times as many in the same amount of time.
Okay.
This one's a little bit misstitched, but I got
Yep.
a bad one here, but this is what they look like now.
Okay.
So
Same-
you no
same
longer-
capacity.
Same thing?
So this is the smaller version.
Okay.
It's easier to move around.
Sure.
But it's gonna be about yay long.
Okay.
It's deployed. It has its own little attachment straps. It can attach this way. The new bags are gonna have it that way, so if it's a high energy environment, we can lower it down so it's gonna get less beat up by the waves and still do its work. And so this is all natural hemp material, so there's no plastics going into the water.
Mhm.
And afterwards, we're able to pick them up and shred them and turn it into sustainable fertilizer.
So that's half the size of the other one? Is it? Yeah.
What's the material?
It's all hemp.
Way on the inside.
No, the hemp is on the outside.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, the inside. He was like-
Biochar is hemp on the
Yeah,
inside.
yeah.
And so, if you're not familiar with what biochar is, it's produced by pyrolysis. It's on the scale between charcoal and activated carbon. And so it has about a football field of surface area per gram of material. I get closer or further. So that sticky carbon sucks up nutrients, sucks up contaminants from the environment. And the way that ours are working is more as a bioreactor as well. So once it's absorbed as much as it can handle on the surface, it begins to grow biofilm. So all the microbial life in the lake that has been knocked out of whack by excess nutrients coming in over the years, by contaminants and chemical treatments to control algal blooms, actually really mess up that biome and build up over time in the lake. So we are able to look at what's growing in the sediment, what's in the water, and what grows on different types of biochar. And so every time we do a deployment, it's a pilot to long-term management. So we are looking at how your biome is working, how nutrients are cycling through your system, what's missing from agricultural runoff, pesticides, whatever might have come into the water from whatever source, and then the chemical treatments that we've all been using for the past 50 years and how that has affected the biome. So we can look at how nutrients cycling, how minerals are accumulating, what chemicals may or may not be there, and how we can support the biome to be able to heal those cycles.
So talk to me about how the actual product is consistent, or you change it based on what the diagnosis of the lake is?
So that's what I'm saying. We change the mixture of the biochar that
Okay.
goes in there.
Okay.
So we're working with a number of different biochar producers to look at different feedstocks. So biochar is made from waste biomass. Usually wood, can be made from, corn husks. It could be made from any biomass.
Sure.
So looking at the different chemical surface on that biochar is going to be how it's going to be specifically supporting microbes in the lake.
Okay.
Once we have 3 to 5 years of data on what's happening in the lake, then we can responsibly inoculate these things before they go in the lake to reintroduce needed organisms.
So it takes 3 to 5 years before we have a idea on what exactly we need to help the lake's health?
No, it's helping to help the lake's health right away.
Yeah.
But we can tailor it to
Oh, I see.
specifically recover it. The whole point of using these is to eliminate the need for them. We're trying to restore the ecosystem
Yeah.
so that it maintains itself.
So given we're 265 acre lake, somewhere plus or minus there, how many of these things do you need to actually make a difference? Does everybody have to have one? Is there
It depends. It depends on the lake, it depends on the ecosystem, it depends on the depth. So it's not just the acreage, it's
Yeah.
also the acre feet of the
Why don't you
lake.
talk through, just because I've read a little bit and we've talked through email, but why don't you talk through a little bit the pilot program that you're running on Sherwood, the process, how you get stood up there, understand what you're going to do, what areas of that lake you currently have these operating in. Talk us through a little bit what's happening in Sherwood.
All right, so last year was our first pilot in Lake Sherwood. We operated just in the northern inlet channel and in the back bay that had the worst algal bloom issues.
Yeah.
And so the inlet channel, they did a sediment removal at the same time. So the biochar bags didn't have as big of an impact because they immediately sucked up all of the nutrients that were released from the sediment removal and clogged a lot of it up. You could tell how much nutrients was in there because the carbon and the wrapping was falling apart by the time it was coming out of there. It should last 2 years. So that's the nutrient load, nitrogen and phosphorus to carbon. But in the back bay where they've been plagued with algal blooms, it was the clearest they've ever had. They had no weeds, they had no algae. They said it was the first time in over a decade they haven't had an algal bloom back there. A couple of residents even told me they saw frogs. They've lived there for 20 years, they've never seen frogs there.
And did everybody in that area have one to have a result like that?
Every dock had 2 bags attached to it.
Oh,
Yeah. And so this
How
year,
many houses is that? How many houses that cover?
so in those 2 locations, it was about 170 bags. I think 200 actually went in, but
so about 100 houses, 100 sites.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then, so they had a massive increase in clarity in the northern channel, even with the sediment removal, but, it didn't have the impact it did in the back channel there, the back bay. The back bay, it was the clearest they've ever had. They had no algal blooms, and it was the only part of the lake that wasn't inundated with weeds.
So talk to me about like what testing you guys have done throughout the year there, where that is. I know you guys hadn't finished like the final report for the year. How long has the project been going on and what measurable results have you guys had?
This year or last
Yeah,
year?
or just in general?
In general?
Yeah.
The results we had from last year was we really took a baseline of the lake.
Yep.
And how the microbial life in the lake transitions throughout the season. We were able to look at and correspond to how heavily managed areas had the least biodiversity. All the metal sensitive bacteria and microbes were wiped out in those areas, and how a lot of the nutrient cycling bacteria had also been wiped out. So the heavier the treatment in an area, the worse the biome has been skewed, which means the worse the reaction is going to be the next time it happens.
So that area you referred to earlier was just like a concentrated area, right? How about the rest of the lake, the bigger, deeper,
Yeah.
more dilute, for lack of a better term, for,
Yeah.
for the biomass they had?
So we did not treat the main part of the lake. We were in the canals.
Okay.
So we started in the canals. If we were to put 200 bags in the main part of the lake, you wouldn't see much of a difference. We'd
Okay.
have to go strictly off of chemical uptake.
Oh,
So last year, we didn't get good data on the chemical uptake. We put 500 bags in this season. We did the whole canal system east of the Ledgewood Bridge, and so that's about half of their canal system there. And then we did some of the more isolated canal systems to the north, and then there's like a little canal coming off the main lake we did as well.
Is there like, so did you pick those areas just because it was easier to control or less traffic or where that problem was? Was there a reason why you picked those specific areas? And is it most effective in shallower areas versus the main portion? Talk me through how you pick those specific spots.
Well, it's effective in every area.
Yeah.
It's just how long is it going to be until you see impact? And
Sure.
so the Water Quality Board at Lake Sherwood wanted to see the biggest impact because they live on a lake. People on lakes tend to have something to say all the time. So,
We wouldn't know.
I've been in the meetings. So it was really just where the biggest impact was going to be seen. And so in those canals, it was inundated with weeds last year. I did sampling in some of the most heavily populated areas, and I looked like Swamp Thing when I came out of the water every time. It took me days to get the seaweed out of my hair. And this year, there's probably 3 or 4 little patches of weeds, but that's really all you're seeing coming from the surface.
Is there, because it's below the dock, is there like minimum depth you need to have? Like if I think about, I guess our lake has got some areas that are typically problem areas as well, like most lakes do, but some of them happen to be like our canals are really shallow, or there's a decent amount of muck build up there, so it's not really deep, so there's probably not, 5 feet under docks of even available. So I guess, is there minimum depth constraints or something?
Well, I mean, we can hang them sideways.
Yeah.
We don't want them to be in contact with the muck because the muck is going to go in and fill the pores up.
Sure.
That biochar is not going to be doing the same amount of work.
Right.
I mean, it's going to be doing work on the muck.
Yeah, yeah.
It's necessary.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be doing the work on the water.
so just below the surface is deep enough, right?
Well, I mean, Lake Sherwood's a pretty shallow lake.
Mhm.
So being able to have, this distance under the water allows you to hit a couple of thermal lines.
Yeah.
So you stick your hand in the lake and it's warm, then you stick your hand deeper and
Yeah.
it's cold, and you stick your hand deeper and it's colder.
I don't know if some of those places have that.
At least in our canals, it'd probably be tough to even get that height, I bet, in some places, but in some, we probably could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so what we're looking at on Lake Sherwood for the coming years is they just signed a 5-year letter of intent, and it's somewhere between 1,200 and 1,600 bags on their lake. And that's 256 acres.
And that's in more the canal area, or is that everywhere?
It's going to be everywhere. So it's going to be all of the no wake areas and then a lot of the problem areas in the lake. Actually, going around the lake this year, the weeds across the entire lake are a lot less. There's a whole lot of complaints because, you have the wake boats going through there, tearing stuff up, and it all is drifting into one area of the lake. So there's still a lot of raking needed to be done. But this year was actually double the biodiversity of weeds in the lake.
So-
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to ask, so how often do you have to replace those
Yearly.
yearly?
We put them out in the spring, take them out in the fall. And in the state of Michigan, if if we were to put a stake in the lake, we would have to permit it like we were building a boathouse up over the water. If the residents put something in the lake that we can tie it off to, that's an easier fix.
So talk to me about the interaction between those and the chemical treatment. My understanding is that where those things are installed, you'd have to limit or not do any chemical treatment. Is that true?
Yes, these are sucking all those ions out of the water, and those chemical treatments are ions. So you treat the area around these with chemicals, and they will suck it out of the water, and it will mess up the biodiversity that's building in the rows.
So when we have the treatments, sporadically throughout the year, I mean, can you remove that during the treatment and wait a couple weeks and then put it back in?
It's a big pain. We'll see with the new ones. With the old ones, once these are in the water, they're very heavy.
Sure.
So this is wrapped in coconut coir erosion control blanket. So trying to get that out of the water means you have to get in the water and take it out like a baby for every single one of them.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're trying to pull 200 of those out of the water, that's a full day's work,
Yeah, just-
4 or 5 people.
Yeah, you would basically want to say, hey, we're not going to just imagine a world where we say, we're going to do this on Penny Lake. We would say, we're not going to treat Penny Lake this year. We're going to see how it works, right? Or we're going to do the canals and
Right.
not going to treat them, see how it works, right? You'd have to do that and then
Big
say,
thing.
like, does that improve that whole area, right?
Yeah.
You'd have to section off a section or go up by Tampa, or back under, where I am, areas that
Yeah.
are somewhat isolated and say, okay, this whole area we're going to do, and then no harvester, no treatment, no anything, and say, hey, what does it do, right?
The harvester's fine.
Yeah.
The harvester's fine. Actually, when we take these out of the lake, we're shredding them up and mixing them with other waste materials. So we've actually worked with harvesters to bring those weeds to us, and then we mix them in with the biochar and compost it down for the following season's fertilizer. So being able to make fertilizer out of the biochar increases the carbon offset. Biochar is now 85% of carbon removal market. So when you see all these data centers buying up carbon credits, they're buying biochar. So being able to mix it with other waste and create fertilizer to offset those chemicals really actually increases the carbon negativity by 10 to 50 times.
Like fertilizer for what? What is that used for specifically?
Use it for farm fields, you can use it for lawns. They've been looking at golf courses, being able to eliminate a lot of chemicals for golf courses. So the biochar, the carbon is resilient. It's going to stay around for the next 1,000 years. It's now impregnated with all those minerals and all those nutrients from the lake, all that biodiversity. So it is restoring that nutrient cycling and mineral cycling in the soils that it is applied to. We've been talking with Lake Sherwood about trying to get their lake residents to, instead of using chemical fertilizers that run off into the lake, be able to access this fertilizer and be able to spread it on their lawns.
So what is that fertilizer? Is it like a dry powder, or what does it look like when it's ready to go?
Pretty much. I mean, we got to keep it wet while we're composting everything else down.
Yeah.
But it just looks like, when it's wet, it looks like topsoil. When it's dry, it looks like, black powder almost. Kind of chunkier black powder.
Yeah.
So talk me through like the process. So your company, for the houses you did on Sherwood, you guys physically install them? You do that in the spring sometime, March, April or something, early?
Well, I mean, we have to get in the water every once in a while, so probably not March.
Yeah.
Usually May.
Okay, so your guys come, they identified the houses, they said these, however they did that, which I can get back to that, but say you got these 100 houses, your company comes, installs these under all the docks, tie it off to the docks or whatever. And then they sit basically maintenance free, right, for the summer?
Yep.
And then you come back when to pull them out?
Well, we come back monthly and pull samples in the water, in the sediment, and
Okay.
pull the samples throughout the biochar bags. And at the end of the season, we do our final sampling.
Yeah.
Pull everything out and do a very intense sampling of the biochar bags to see what has grown in what areas.
Okay, so you have them like labeled, this bag was in that house type of thing?
Well, more like we pull them out of the water, let them
Yeah.
drain on the shore, and while they're draining, we sample them before we collect them.
Sure. Okay, and then you guys collect them, cart them off wherever you go, and then you guys go process it into fertilizer after the fact?
Yep.
And then the next year you come back?
Put in
Reinstall.
ones, yeah. I've seen a lot of similar companies have been saying that you can use these for 3 to 5 years, and that is just not a great idea, because at the end of the year, it's a bag of fertilizer. And once it dries out and dies over the wintertime, you put that back in your lake, and you're literally putting all of those nutrients back into your lake, except for the stuff that's bound to it. And sure, it'll start sucking it back out as biofilm starts growing back on it, but you're just reintroducing all those nutrients to the lake.
Sure. Do you know on Sherwood how they got the residents to agree to do it? Were you part of those conversations, or how they said, hey, these 100 houses are in?
Well, they told them that we're putting in biochar bags on all of these docks. It wasn't convincing the residents. It was telling the residents that these are going in and this is a control of weeds and algae. There was a couple houses that opted out, but those houses opted in this year after they saw the impacts.
Sure.
So was it a cost to the homeowners for the test that you did initially?
No, it was all on the association.
Yeah, they have an
Oh.
association.
They opened it up for homeowners who wanted extra bags to be able to come in and get bags at a discounted rate.
Yeah.
And, there was probably $2,000-$3,000 worth of bags purchased. And in areas that didn't have the big deployments, a lot of people purchased bags.
What did the large bags of that new version cost?
So it depends on how many bags you have in a deployment.
Sure.
Anywhere from $90 to $150. And that includes the assessment on everything. So the more bags you have, the less the assessment costs, because
Sure.
there's a minimum level of assessment.
Sure. What other lakes do you have this going on in Michigan now?
So we just increased our production capacity 2 weeks ago. So we have just done Lake Sherwood. It took us 4 months this year by hand to make those,
Okay,
whereas we can do that in about 4 hours now.
sure. Okay.
So we've spoken to Lake Pawpaw, Lake Columbia, Lake Leanne, Little Long Lake on the border of Michigan and Indiana. And so all of them have exhibited interest. We just couldn't service them this year.
So the process, if we said, hey, we want to investigate this for our lake, how would we go about determining which areas we want to go look at? Like, do you need reports from us on previous treatments, or some kind of, you got to come do a survey of the lake, or what's the process to even understand if we were to say, hey, listen, this is an area that looks like it could be a good candidate to give this a shot, and then we could come up with a plan on how that looks. What's that process like?
Well, it's where your problems are and where we have a place to tie them off on. So we are putting them on docks because we cannot put something in the lake to tie it off to. It
Sure.
has to be there, or a resident has to put it in.
Yep.
So that's a limiting factor, because a lot of people are like, hey, we have this swamp area that we want you to treat. I'm like, there's nothing to tie off to there.
Yeah, we have no shortage of docks on our lake.
We sure don't.
There's no shortage of docks.
And this is a cumulative effect too.
Yeah.
So I mean, if we're in an isolated area, if that isolated area gets good flow for the rest of the lake, I mean, it's gonna have an impact there, but it's gonna be lesser than if it had lesser flow.
Yeah.
Because, if you put 1 drop of food coloring in a bottle of water, it looks really colored until it diffuses through the entire thing.
Yep.
And the big thing that we're doing here is we are essentially mining the nutrients out of the sediment layer. Because as you're pulling it out of the water, the sediment is releasing more. And what we found last year in the bay that we had treated, 2 weeks after we pulled it out, because it was 85 degrees in October, they started to have an algal bloom. Because all of the sediment, all of the algae had settled to a biofilm layer on the sediment, because that's where the nutrients were. And as soon as it was able to refill the water column, it came right back out. And so that actually happened this year, because we removed it for 2 weeks from a whole bunch of areas on Lake Sherwood because of the treatments for weeds. And they were starting to have an algal bloom, and then it went away immediately when we put the bags back in.
Cool. So the areas that would benefit, obviously the canal and maybe your area, right?
I mean, I think we'd have to look, I would probably go look at all the there's anecdotal based on history, but I think what I would do is what is it most effective on? Is it primarily algae? Is it primarily, like, if we were to say, what are the problem areas? It's not like, hey, we've got this specific type of weed in this area. Is it primarily algae?
So it's going to make the most immediate effect on algae. It's
Yeah.
going to make a longer term effect on weeds.
Yeah.
This year on Lake Sherwood, in one of the back bays that we put it out in, by the time we got the bags out there, the weeds were already to the surface. And they actually complained a month later because there were so many weeds, but we went back out there and they're all floating on the surface.
Yeah.
You couldn't see the weeds anymore. So
Yeah.
it's kind of a balance.
Yeah,
People
but I'm
complain
saying,
about
if
it when
we
they
go
see it.
diagonal, what I would do is I would take all of our treatment history of the lake, right? We've got maps from every time, right? We've got all the chemical treatments and what they were treating. Right? This is for algae, this was milfoil, this was whatever, right? We would probably want to go identify, as an example,
the areas where we've done the most algae treatment historically over the last year and a half, right? And say, those are potential target areas. And then we'd have to say, okay, are they sectioned off enough, or can we get enough change in that area to actually make a difference, right?
Right.
Yeah, I'd say look at areas with algae and E. coli issues.
Well, we have a beach that's been closed for 3 months for E. coli issues.
Well, Ledgewood Beach has been closed every year for the past 5 years for E. coli, and it's been open all year this year
Really?
because that's where the A-lot is, that we had a super heavy deployment.
Yeah, we've got, our beach doesn't have anything
Mallow?
to tie to, though.
Right.
Mallow Beach.
Well, we
They
got a
could
problem
do
with that
something.
with
Swimming area? Do you have like a roped off
Yeah.
swimming area?
Yeah.
I mean, we could tie it off to the buoys in the swimming area, and it would literally be filtering the water coming in and out of the swimming area.
This could be a potential.
For our canals, we really, I mean, we've got docks all over the place, but the canals are pretty sparse. If we were to try to do anything in the canals, we'd probably need to find something that's free-floating or
I mean, the one
something.
that goes to Penny Lake has got houses the whole way, right?
Yeah.
The one, the loop is
Yeah.
pretty sparse.
Yeah,
But do you have, I guess, is there some guidance you could give on like the density that we need? Like you need to have one set up every 100 feet or whatever, like how does it scale like that?
Well, I mean, Paul connected us, so he has nutrient concentration
Yeah.
samples on the lake. So, I mean, being able to look at that and what the nutrient levels are. And
But I'm saying say that we have an area that's bad, but it has one dock on it.
yeah.
It might not be worth it because there's nothing to tie it off to. So what I'm saying is the density of those things to be effective, do you need them to be spaced close enough, or is it strictly proportional to how bad it is in the area?
it's a mix. It's a mix of like how many you have and how spaced out they
Yeah.
are. So, I mean, these are, I say it's like magnetism, but it's concentration gradient. So
Yeah, sure.
what's around here, the nutrients are being pulled out of the water that
Yep.
touches
The more
biochar.
fills, yeah.
And then it moves in towards it. So it is actually drawing the nutrients in because the nutrients are equalizing across that area. So if
Yep.
the area right around that dock has no nutrients on it, the energy is going to be pulling in from around it.
Mm-hmm.
So the nutrients will get there. They're not going to get there immediately, but they're going to get there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the reasons why they're out there for the whole year too, so that they can fill up with nutrients, make sure that they have that healthy biofilm development, and it's going to be locking down any sort of contaminants. So like the copper treatments that we use for, it's going to be locking that copper up. That copper is going to be bound permanently to the biochar,
Mhm.
and it's not going to be interacting with the microbes.
So
You know,
for areas,
Why don't you go point that out to him?
yeah, I'll just go in a couple seconds. So in,
This is the canal area that we've got right here, this section right here. You can see that there are houses all along here, but there's this area where there's no docks to tie off to, and this is the area that gets kind of,
yeah, and that whole canal that goes all the way down to Penny Lake has got tons of houses that has
Yeah.
problems.
yeah,
Yeah.
this
Yeah,
here.
so that's got plenty of opportunity. to
Yeah.
put
But
them in.
it's around
And it-
here that
Yeah,
we don't have any,
yeah, that whole area gets very limited water flow, so we generally have some trouble in there.
Well, I mean, having a whole concentration down there, if
Yeah.
the water is flowing in that direction, it's going to, kind
Yep.
of nudge those nutrients down.
Yep. What about, so the area that you mentioned, the E. coli, the beach that we have that's had that problem this year is on the main lake. So when we say, hey, no treatments in an area, is it some distance away from where the bags are? You can treat like, if we're.
This way, once it gets further out, it's going to be so diffuse that it's not.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking at a beach here, right, like, is it that we just draw a circle and say no treatments in that area? Is it like, how does that? Pretty much. Okay, because this area is where we have a beach that has a problem. This canal run here, we generally have a problem. Down here on Penny Lake, sometimes we have problems as well.
Yeah.
But this area is the beach that's been closed all year where, yeah, it's fenced off like this for swimming and stuff, but we still will come in and chemically treat. And then this bay here, that's nothing.
I mean, it looks like a lot of stuff might be coming out of here, too.
Yeah, it's pretty swampy, Bev.
Yeah, this.
I've,
and then
kayaked
this
back
area,
there.
so
It's pretty
no
nasty.
wake. This is a no wake area, this is a no wake area. Right in here is a no wake area. This whole canal is no wake as well, and this part down here is no wake.
And you got a
But I think
part
our
down there.
largest
by-
problem areas are generally this canal area, that beach, the east side of Penny Lake.
Sometimes by By the island, yeah.
Yeah.
Up there, you'll get a lot of blooms.
Get a lot of algae back in here.
Yeah.
This is what, a lot of windblown stuff ends up in this area because the wind's always blasted this
Yeah.
way, so they get a lot of stuff blowing in over there.
Yeah.
But I think we got areas that we might be able to, something like this, if we could section off, maybe we could have something that would be a good experiment area.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's, what we found on Lake Sherwood is that residents weren't willing to commit to the larger cost of treating the entire lake until they had seen how it worked.
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
So, I mean, finding an area that can be concentrated that is a problem that we could manage, and then coming back with the data on the entire lake and looking at biodiversity, looking at how the lake has been impacted, because there's a lot of discharges into the lake that nobody has any idea
That's
about.
the other thing is down by the Greenaway drain.
Yeah.
So
We have
that's
a-
what I was gonna
Yeah.
ask. Can we put
Down
those
there.
at the Greenway
We've
drain?
got
Right.
like a massive entrance to the lake right down here.
Yeah.
It's like from the main road drain into the lake, it's called Greenaway Drain. This area down here, there's just tons of stuff coming in here. So like, we could potentially section off this area and try and get these houses on board, and that's like a main inlet to the lake,
But could you even put it more upstream of the drain? I mean,
Upstream of the drain is basically the streets.
well, I mean, yeah.
Has there been any concern about waterfowl or fish or any other kind of, I mean, I know it's all natural, but
No, actually, we found that the fish went crazy because.
Really?
Because there's so much biofilm growing in here, you have so many of the, aquatic insects that are feeding on the biofilm, that the fish will actually attack you when you're trying to pull the bags out.
really?
One of our guys had a mole on his back and was screaming like a little girl the whole time. But it's amazing to see the impact on the fish. Like the fish population was probably 1.5 to 2 times the size it was in that Wood Bay.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
just because we're creating all this essentially we're turning on the natural cycling in a very intense way. So we have a lot of life coming out of these bags, and then the fish are feeding off of that life.
Okay. I think I asked a million questions. I'm good. I think we could probably think about what to do. Maybe I'll contact you via email. We'll probably want to understand like some kind of proposal potentially. I don't know. We'd have to see. We don't have a homeowners association like that, but we do have a budget for the board that we could potentially figure out. But how we actually get houses engaged, I'm sure, we'd have to make it part of the whole treatment plan, part of the,
Yeah.
what you're doing for
Yeah.
chemical treatment. Like, I think people up near the beach that's been closed all year would probably be like, let's do something different,
Yeah.
right? And people
Yeah.
down by the Greenaway
That'd be
drain are
great.
probably gonna say, let's do something different, right? So there's probably areas where we could say, hey, this is what we're gonna go do and opt out. Yeah, go ahead, opt out.
And we're working with Paul from Progressive
Yeah.
to build out kind of an educational programming thing around it.
Mhm.
Because Lake Sherwood is a massive success over the past 4 years in the restoration of it. This year they had, twice as much biodiversity as for weeds, which stops the weeds from coming in and taking over. If you have a monoculture, those weeds are just blocking everything out.
And you said this does bind, sorry if you mentioned this, like phosphorus and nitrogen, everything from like.
Phosphorus, nitrogen, arsenic, cadmium, PFAS, it's all getting bound up in here.
Are they, how buoyant are those?
So these ones are very buoyant. Last year, we started with a little more hydrated biochar, so this will probably float for about a week, week and a half.
Then what does it do? Left to its own devices?
It sinks. You can swim with it, but it sinks.
Okay. But we could find some way of tethering or.
It's tied to the dock.
Yeah, but I mean, if we had an area like, if we wanted to do the swim area.
If there's a swim platform.
Oh, yeah. That's what he said, if you even have the rope out there with the buoys. You could have
Right,
the buoys.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, the buoys would be enough to keep them from just sinking to the bottom.
Yeah, the biggest worry there would be, kids climbing on them and ripping them apart.
Yeah.
But the biochar itself isn't going to do any damage to the lake if it does get torn and dropped in the lake. All it does is increase biodiversity and nutrient cycling. It's not like you want to go add a whole bunch of material to the bottom of your lake.
Right.
It's going to fill in eventually, but
For sure.
this is the best way we found to tie this sustainable management of these lakes together. as well as being able to deal with the problem that caused it, which is nutrient runoff from other sources.
So talk about the end of life here. You come take them out, you bring them to your place, make it into fertilizer. You're making fertilizer out of it, or it's somewhere else, or where does that go? What is it? What's happening there?
We're at Oakland University right now, so we are tied to the new data center that they have going in, and so we are working with the board of the university and a couple of the provosts and a couple of vice presidents to build a plan around developing biochar production to offset the carbon output from the data center, and then being able to include other sustainable activities to offset the footprint of that. And so we're going back there. Right now, we are doing it all by hand, but we're going to be opening up a funding round this winter to be able to get all the equipment we need to shred all this up, mix it all up in a little bit more manageable way than
Sure.
6 interns with pitchforks.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
You guys good?
Thanks a lot.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
All right.
Yeah.
I appreciate you coming in, spending the time.
Thanks, John.
Very educational. We will discuss and I'll be in touch. We'll figure out what we're going to do here.
Yeah, and I mean, we'd be willing to come and do some educational programming. I mean,
Yeah.
we have little like barrel and barrel systems to teach people about how they can make biochar, what biochar is.
Mhm.
Yeah, let them put their hands on it and see what's happening.
Yeah,
Great.
right. Thank you.
Welcome.
Yeah, it would have been. Okay, awesome.
All right, well, thank you very
Very
much.
good.
Thanks.
Thanks for your
Yeah.
time.
Thank you very much.
All right, moving on. Well, next one was Jim Sparks' follow-up on fish habitat plan that I thought he was gonna be all over this year, but he hasn't showed up to a meeting all summer, so I guess we have no update on that, but we would have potentially some extra funding.
Yeah.
Reestablishing this ad, why don't you walk me through that?
Well, we were able to, there have been a couple of things. One is I found 2 people that enthusiastically signed up, 3 people, and only 1 was eligible.
Sure.
So, but I called the other 2 and told them sorry, but the one wasn't really enthusiastic, the one that wanted to get involved, lives on the canal, wants to get other people involved.
Okay.
Since then, there've been, Ryan, you saw them, I don't know if everybody else saw them. There's 2 other letters that went out. I'm terribly sorry. Hang on 1 second. Trish? I'm in my meeting.
I'll continue. David Gillen sent out two letters, one to the group of people. Go ahead.
Yeah, one to the group of people that are already connected to this, to the sewer system, and the other is.
They're already on the SAD, but they haven't
They're on
yet
the SAD, but
connected.
haven't connected, and the
And-
other are the ones that are eligible for the SAD to connect. So they're working in that direction. Which I think is great for them to have done that. I don't know if there's a new count. But we did end up with 1 person that signed up through our efforts at the Tuesday night thing. And maybe I can fold this into it. I noticed the notice came out from the village. They want volunteers for the corn roast on September 12th. So I was going to go ahead and volunteer, but it also seems like it could be another opportunity to set up something where, you know,
Talk about it.
we could advertise, yeah. I mean, I looked up some stuff online that talks about the hazards of continuing with
Septic.
systems. So we got that. I was given a list of the names that have signed up so far. We've got,
Says we have 14 currently interested.
yep, and, no, 18.
Oh, 18.
18 interested. And I got a map, so I guess I could make a copy of the map that shows where you're eligible. You know, if
It's
you're,
basically if you have waterfront property or on the street that goes
or on the
around
street that, yeah.
the lake.
Yeah,
Yep.
across from a riparian.
Yep.
So, but I didn't know if we might want to turn the volunteer activity into something that was, well, I don't know if we want to get a presence there. To do something? I don't know.
At the corner roast.
Yeah.
What is the date?
Just, I'll reiterate some of the numbers. So we have
September 12th.
53 houses
Yeah.
that currently have previously signed up for the special assessment district, but have not yet connected to the sewer. There's nothing that says you have to connect just because you're on the special assessment district.
Right.
Special assessment district just makes it so that you can pay it off over 10 years.
Yep.
But you can connect anytime you want.
Yeah.
There is also then some costs associated with connecting, but it's largely covered with the set. So we have 53 houses that are in that category. And then we have 18 houses that are now interested in joining the next special assessment district, and we need 30 to actually have the next special assessment district. So only 12 more houses required.
Yeah.
Right? So that's not too difficult.
And
To make our 30?
To make just 30,
Oh.
yep.
Yeah.
So I think if you do some volunteer, I can go, I haven't pushed any of this stuff online either, right? So we can go,
Right.
that's what I got a lot of signatures last time, was
Yeah.
people just reading online about what it was, so we can start doing that.
Mhm.
We're more than halfway to go get another special assessment district, so,
Yeah.
Is there a way you can put this on there, like
Yeah.
as a link or something?
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
yeah, I have digital copies. Yeah. So we can do that, but, so good progress there. I guess if you want to go to the corn roast and make a pitch with a map blown up. Do you live in one of these?
Yeah.
What's up?
Yeah.
But good, I think we're moving along. I think it's good for the lake. Less septic, the better. And that could be done by either having people already on the SAD connect, or people not on the SAD, join the SAD and connect. So, good. Cool. All right, water quality testing. Matt had an update. He said he gave it to you.
He did. I'll just read directly what he sent to me. So, this is regarding the Greenway drain. So he said he spoke with both David Gillum and Mike Powell about the small Weir Dam,
How do you spell that?
WEIR.
W-E-I-R-D.
Damn, I don't recall here.
W-E-I-R or with a D at the end?
WEIR.
Okay.
So the Weir Dam, there are planned repairs. They both mentioned that they are in the process of planning a meeting to discuss several public works projects for the remainder of the year. Mike Powell noted that he thinks most of the work could be completed by the Department of Public Works in regards to the repairing the Weir Dam and what their next steps could or should be after that. Hopefully allocating some of the time and materials on their end for that project will come out of their meeting, but to be determined. Matt will follow up on that. Mike Powell also mentioned that there is dredging of the sediment pit would need to be completed by an outside contractor as it was done in the past by American Marine. So when and if that needs to be done is a separate repair of the Weir Dam. So David and Mike Powell are to follow up with Matt once their meeting takes place in the next week or two.
Did he have any updates on the testing? He was going to do some testing.
That was all I got.
Okay, so Matt was asking us to delay the meeting, but we went for it anyway, so that was the update we got. Okay, muck removal follow-up, I don't have anything. I think the main thing is I wanted to have this presentation today. Earlier in the year, I had the discussion on actually muck removal, if we want to go talk about that.
Right.
We do have money, if we want to get it surveyed, we can do that. But I guess no update that. What was your guys' initial thought here on the biochar thing?
We need something done, and if this thing works out, I think it's worth a test to see if it's going to help.
I think what I'll probably do is go propose a couple areas and then see if we can get, David to get like an RFP out and say, what do you think?
Yeah.
What is it gonna cost, right? Initial cost, $100, $200 a bag thing seems like something that we could rally some support around. I'm sure the more you get, the cheaper they are, but there's a min cost of entry and all that. So I don't know what the pricing structure would be, but it seems like it could be do something different in some of the
Yeah.
areas where we haven't had success.
Right.
Especially in the beach,
Yeah, I
Mallow
think,
Beach,
Well, in the canal, too.
Yeah.
in the canal.
Well, seriously, if they are really having results as drastic as they are.
so I had contacted some people on Sherwood, and it was nothing measurable yet. That's why I was asking, where are you on like the actual analysis and the data? But the opinion is that things have improved, right? So that's good, right? A lot of what we deal with is complaints, opinions anyway. But that's why I was hoping that he'd be able to come in and be like, okay, we ran these tests, this is what the results were, here's what the clarity changes, here's what the, biome change was.
That'll be a big selling point for most people. If
Yeah.
they want to fund it, is like, no, here's what the pictures and
Yeah.
no, this is working. The
Yeah.
product works.
So I think it's one of those things, and I had asked Progressive as well, because they are, Progressive manages Sherwood as well, right? So, and my understanding is Progressive didn't bring those people in, didn't bring Capture Tech in as an alternative. It was found through the Sherwood Association of an option. So getting Progressive's input on where they see it, it was like, Progressive's email to me was basically, no hard data, but people feel like it's improved, right? But they were holding their input until they could actually see some data.
Yeah.
But it seems like something that I can follow up and try and get a proposal together on, it wouldn't be something that happens until the spring anyway, right? But we could at least start getting a plan together on areas or cost or whatever, see if we can bury it in a budget
Yeah, right
or,
over there by the power store. I mean, like I said, and then we know the algae blooms, especially
Yeah.
at residents.
yeah,
Last month come in.
Yeah.
And that same shoreline, there's always that issue.
yep, so. Yeah, I think it'll be worth digging into as another project for next year, and I don't think it's gonna be insanely expensive, right?
And I mean, he said the cost of the bag includes install testing and everything, so it
Yeah.
seems like it's not just a package
Yeah.
for the product, it's the whole show.
It sounds like they could have a scaling problem. It sounds like it's a couple dudes with hand making.
They definitely sound newer
Yeah,
to the
so,
market.
if you start throwing a bunch at it, they're gonna have to, you stay on top of it, right? So it's definitely I would consider as a non-proven technology.
Well, I mean, and if it turns out to be as effective as we heard, we're going to need fewer treatments, probably less fish stocking if the fish population goes up.
Okay, let's keep moving. Current lake level.
I remember.
Oh, yeah, I didn't write it in. Go ahead.
Yeah,
yours.
yeah. So this is just a follow-up on the goose roundup options. As you know, we typically on an annual basis do an egg roundup and nest destruction. But there were questions about whether we need to do the goose roundup as well, because our goose population is increasing every year, and we have had shutdowns on the beaches, as mentioned, because of the E. coli. So I contacted a number of centers that used to do this, Goose Control of West Michigan, Goose Busters, Gooseworks LLC, Goodbye Geese, and Wild Goose Chase Incorporated. And of the three that responded to me, all of them told me that you have to go through the USDA, the U.S. Department of Agriculture, in order to get a permit for that. So in 2026, the Capture and Euthanasia program was paused in 2025, and there were no permits that were issued in 2026. However, there were limited U.S. Fish and Wildlife Services that permitted the capture, transport, and relocation of these geese. So when I finally got in touch with the USDA representative, and she had mentioned to me, first of all, that so we know that David annually gets the permits for the egg roundup. So what she said is no one will automatically get the goose capture, the roundup and capture. So that has to be requested in advance by early May to have those forms filled out, that permit, if we want to go ahead and do the goose roundup. And there may be some things that we'll have to fill out, in terms of what's the rationale, for that, which certainly we've got enough, I think, for that. But anyway, so the bottom line is that we will have to submit a permit for that early May next year. So we can't just order one now, we just have to wait till then and request it.
So the permit application gets you the ability to go collect geese.
Yeah,
And these
well, I think
companies-
for them to do it, yeah, they get the companies to do that.
Yeah.
I don't think we have to go out there
The
and
companies
collect
come
these. Yeah.
and at some fee that we pay the companies then.
Right. And again, that's assuming they will allow it next year at this time, because, it's waffled back and forth of whether they could or could not do that. So like I said, there were only a limited number of
The
permits.
roundup is not, it's limited permits, but it's not stopped. The euthanasia stopped, right?
Correct. Well, at least for 2025 and 2026.
Okay, so I'm gonna add something on May. Insert row above, May 1, permit for goose roundup.
So it has to be filled out by May 15th, so we may want to try earlier.
Yeah, but
Just to
I'll
be
see it.
safe.
May 15th. Well, who does it get filled out through?
So the email address is mi, like Michigan, .goose.permits, with an S, @usda.gov.
Okay.
And the point of contact, at least now, is Amberly, Amberly, Hauger, Hauger. Phone number 517-318-3471.
Social security number? Charge card? Okay, so that would be something we could revisit in the spring as part of, I say, April is goose destruction, and we will also say, and decide on permit for roundup. So the permits only come out in May, so then they do the roundup much later than, I guess. The goose roundup used to happen in June.
Well, no, they have to do it when they're flightless, which, yeah.
Late May, early June, I think.
We used to do it mid-June.
Okay, yeah, it is. Okay, so it said that the geese can only be captured during the summer flightless period, approximately June 15 to 30th.
Yeah, so June 24th is the date that I had that we used to do the goose
Okay,
roundup.
well, yeah, you got the last half of June, yeah.
Okay, so we'll have to evaluate that in the spring. I think that's another thing we should probably do. Last year, we were looking at it and said, it didn't seem like we had a problem, but this year we had a problem.
Yeah.
And the geese numbers are not going down. Now, what did they say? Did they give you any information? They'd round them up and do what?
We didn't get that far. Well, there's two options. They either euthanize them or they relocate them. What will be the process next year is, she said it all depends. You may not be able to do either of those two.
Yeah. Did you get a sense of how many permits a limited is?
No. But I think we might have a case for it, given the fact that we've had to shut down the beach so many times, because that is one of the main requirements.
Yeah. Okay. Current lake level, it's basically right on target. It does seem low to me out there, but that's not what it's measuring. It's 0.05 feet below target, which is less than half inch, so that's fine. Water temperature is still high 70s. Noteworthy complaints to the village. The only complaint I had was the same one that we had, which was around algae on Penny Lake, east side of Penny Lake, east-south side.
Okay.
Which we did confirm that the treatment on Monday went there, right? They did have an algae treatment there, so we can follow up with that resident. But that was the only complaint that I had received. I don't know if you guys have anything or are aware of anything? Tracking the same. Okay. All right, key dates. We're sitting here in August, which is crazy. It's like the end. Boat count was supposed to happen August 1st. You guys count boats?
Was I supposed to do that?
I think you guys signed up.
Oh,
I don't know.
okay.
We could refer to the minutes.
Well, maybe,
We can refer to the minutes.
okay, I'll do it this weekend.
That's all right, you have a boat count?
Yeah, where's boat count? I don't see it on
I
here.
don't see it on the agenda.
He's making it up.
No,
Bird
no,
count.
no, let me see.
Okay,
You said
show
you were
me.
gonna do away with
Show
the
me,
boat
show
boat
me,
count.
yeah, I thought we said we were done with that.
No.
Couldn't figure out any real reason to,
Okay, look at the agenda. I don't see it on the
No,
agenda.
no.
I thought we said we were gonna bag that.
All right, let's just
too.
see. Let me see the last time we counted boats. And then we'll decide if we're gonna do a boat count.
Oh, you're right. I think we said we weren't doing it.
it's like,
I think you guys said you were gonna do it.
I think maybe
we
not.
did bird
We
count.
did bird count.
I know. You guys like counting stuff.
We do.
Come on, I did a
Count
goose
birds.
roundup and the bird count.
Man,
Doesn't
you're
that-
the MVP. That's why you're gonna be running this thing next year. So we do it every 2 years.
Retiring.
We've done it every 2 years.
We did it last year.
No, we didn't. We did it in 2024.
All right, what do we have last year? Add 2 to everything.
I'm not gonna manipulate the data.
All right,
I mean-
we'll do a boat count. Okay. maybe Sunday, or maybe next week.
Yeah, I'm out of town this weekend.
We could, I'm not working right now, we could just do it tomorrow. Or Friday.
Hey, vote right here, key date, vote count, August 2026. You guys.
They must have meant August 26th. That's right.
Oh, yeah. No, it says August 2026. We talked about this. All right, you could count some boats. You could swim while you do it. Fishing tournament happened. I don't think I won, but I did do it. It was a good day for fishing. Last day of treatment is Labor Day. It's coming up.
Yeah.
Pretty soon. And last day of the harvester, October 12th, was last time.
Is it still working?
I don't know.
I haven't seen it out there in a few days, or in a while,
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't get anything from David on it, but it was down.
for a bit, and then I saw it run, and then I haven't seen it again.
Yep.
Oh, was it since last meeting that you put out a notice saying that the
Yeah.
slick is the, and then
Okay.
everybody was on you for an MSDS?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, let's blast through the continuing business.
Wait, is the eco harvester on there?
Yeah, that's coming up.
Okay.
Ah,
Yeah, it's coming up.
okay.
Bird count, we're done.
Yep.
Fish stocking, not this year. Plant control invasive species, I think we're good. We just had a whole presentation on that. Harvester discussion, eco harvester. All right. The
We got approved.
The SS Jerry, what's the deal? So SS Jerry, they are getting the meeting with Eagle scheduled. I think I saw that in my inbox yesterday. So let me see if I could find it. I got a bunch of crazy emails the other day. So I think the meeting with them, MI Environmental Portal Submission Notification. The following event has been recorded on an application or service request which are associated. The pre-application meeting, part 301 for Inlake Lakes and Streams got submitted. So this is just the fact that it was submitted. I don't know when the actual meeting will be. We're targeting, I'll tell you the date. Go Harvester. All right. I don't know why this is blanked out. Hold on.
Redacted.
Yeah, why is it? Yeah, it's super weird. So Eagle pre-application meeting in early September, the week of September 7th or 14th, and the Eagle application submittal by the end of October. So in this next month, we should have our pre-meeting with Eagle and by
Who's we?
Jared, Progressive.
Oh.
So all I saw was the meeting notice that came from Eagle directly, but it doesn't have a date. It just says that it was submitted. MI Enviro support. So I can get with him, but that's underway. I mean, we're paying them to take care of this, so I'm expecting them to take care of it. But the meeting is targeted to be the first or second week of September. So once I get the date, I can forward it to you guys. So I'll email him, but he didn't say he needed any more information. Let me just say any more info. So if I get the date, I will send it to you. But the intent for people watching, if anybody's watching, we're having Progressive help us work through the permitting process to potentially purchase a different harvester, which I actually had a couple people ask. Somebody emailed me, wasn't a complaint, but they were asking if the harvester could come down the canal because it's totally overgrown with,
I know.
with stuff, and I told them no. And then somebody else asked me if the harvester could get another spot that it can't. So I've had a couple of people ask, and I've also replied, hey, there's going to be a point in time where we're going to look for community support to purchase a new harvester. I'll let you know.
There we go.
So
Plant those
I mean, the
seeds.
more we think
Yeah.
about it, the more, that thing makes sense.
yeah. So for people, I'll continue the thought. We're working with Progressive to try and help us work through the DNR process of potentially getting a permit for a harvester that's smaller. And
in order to do that, we're gonna have a pre-meeting with Eagle to understand what's required and what concerns they are. So when we do the permit application, we have a better chance of success of getting the permit. If we were to get the permit, then we would have to go to council and make a recommendation for a budget to purchase this thing. But council's aware of what we're doing, and we've engaged Progressive to help us through the process. So that first meeting with Eagle will be in the first half of September. And then I asked them to have the permit stuff done by the end of October.
Okay.
Thank you. So that's what's going on there. Lake enforcement issues,
Nothing special. Buoys are all good.
nothing special. Septic field update, I got nothing. And safety fair, we did.
Yep.
So I think you wanted to add something to future.
No, that was
or
just, I
open
wanted to
discussion?
mention the corn roast and whether or not we wanted to do something as a team to do that. I was gonna go get a water management board shirt made with a logo on it
Ooh, fancy, fancy.
and then not tell anybody so that they all thought that, you know, you guys were buying and stuff.
Ooh, very
But-
fancy.
Yeah, I think the Parks and Rec have shirts. I think they were wearing those at the,
I do. I don't really pay my own.
yeah, like t-shirts.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna check into that. I don't know who wants them, but let me know.
Yeah.
You do?
Make sure they're good form-fitting ones.
If
Yeah,
we're-
well, I'm gonna get mine padded.
Yeah.
All right, so we have $500 in the budget for Safety Festival, where I would assume that the shirts would be for promoting lake safety at these volunteer events. So I don't think it's impossible.
Not
once you get a
having a
shirt, you
septic
And
tank.
$500 in printings and publications as well.
Oh,
Make it buoy safety orange too.
Yeah, buoys,
Little letter.
buoy orange.
Buoy
you know,
orange.
once you get a shirt, you can never leave the water board. You're,
Oh, I could.
Eh,
We also have the site assessment for the sediment, but in the budget as well, but we'll talk about that later. Okay, so, when is this corn roast? I've never been to it.
September
I've lived in the
12th,
village
I
for
September
20
12th.
years. It's a big deal, and I've never been
Yeah,
there.
September 12th, it's over at the park, and they have this cooking pit that goes all day long, chicken and corn and stuff like that. Lots
see
of
one
stuff
of
for the
those big
kids to
signs,
do.
like a picketer that says SAD, talk to me.
That's the,
Yeah,
that's the
there you go.
weekend after Labor Day. Is that true?
Yeah, I think
Yeah, I
I'm,
think it is.
I'm out of town.
I think I'm around. I don't know that I can be talking to people about the SAD, but I could be there.
That's
Yeah.
Labor Day weekend.
The 12th is not.
Is it?
Labor
Oh,
Day
no.
is still-
Labor Day's
No,
on the
no,
7th.
sorry, it's the
Yeah.
weekend before, sorry, right.
It's
So it's a week, yeah, it's a weekend after Labor Day.
when they announced the fishing tournament winners.
Weather permitting, I can just do what we did last time, take a table over there, I've got a, you know, just
Yeah.
sit there with my stuff. I'll get a board that
Oh.
demonstrates where your eligibility is.
I'll hit open discussion as well real quick. I mean, Kyle just resigned.
Yeah,
Jim Sparks is moving. Jerry passed away.
we're getting thin.
We have five members then? Who do we have?
Only miss one.
Because we're missing Matt. Or who else are we missing?
That's it.
Right, we got us and Matt, 5 members. Looking a little thin, gentlemen, looking a little thin.
Yeah.
So we're making,
Anybody
we're
interested
making
in
a
joining the
plea
board?
to anyone listening
Yes.
that we need more members for the water board.
But we need people that are gonna do stuff,
Right.
not just come and complain.
We go out on the boats. We hang out early in the morning. We go to the park.
We count fish.
Yeah,
We count fish. No, but we count boats and birds.
that's right.
No, honestly though, people are interested in being involved and trying to actually do something about it.
Yeah.
In general, are active and willing to participate and actually show up. We could use more volunteers. We have multiple seats open. I think we could fill up to 4 more seats at this point.
Yeah.
But what we don't need are people volunteering and not showing up or volunteering and not doing anything. So I'd rather stay lean and meet at 5 with people doing things than go to 9 and have 4 people not doing anything.
Yeah.
So anybody wants to join, application at the village, just put the application in, then they come in, we have a review, make a recommendation, and then the council could add people.
Yeah.
Okay, liaison reports, village council.
Big top of this conversation is trash again.
Trash, priority waste.
Pretty much general consensus, we're all pretty much over it. We didn't even have them come in this quarter or last meeting to do their quarterly checkup. Because we just keep getting the same answers and you guys see the results that are not coming to fruition with that. So, we are still collecting, all the complaints, all the information. We're still submitting to the portal, still sending it into, trash@wolverinelake.com to the email address. So we have a better, a foundation to stand on when we do something about this. A lot of legals going through and saying what's the best way to fix the problem, however that may be. But I think in July, it was like 123 complaints alone.
Wow.
So if you think about that, that's only 4 days out of the month, and you create that many, it's over 30 every single issue. So,
Yeah.
there's an issue.
It's,
There's a
we only have
process.
4 things to do.
There's a process that you have to go through, and we're working through it. And of course, I mean, we have a contract with them. We have to make sure that your ducks are in order. And we did send out, I think it was 9 different waste removal companies in the area, trying to see who would be interested in servicing. We got a few answers. I think 2 are only saying, yes, we would like to have an actual conversation about supplying you with the service. So, kind of the point is we are looking to see what the options are out there. We are gathering the information, make sure we like stand on, and making sure that we go through that process the correct way.
So you're responsible for trash, recycle, and.
And yard waste.
compost? Yeah.
And leaf. They seem to have they do like 2 out of the 3 correctly. It's like they'll do trash and recycling, and then they just couldn't get to the yard waste. And then they do or they don't pick it up. And then the next week it's like, yeah, we got the yard waste, but then we get into the recycling. So there's not a consistency there. So the things you are seeing is happening. And they'll even have some streets where, 20 houses on a street, and they'll just miss 3 cans, 3 houses for
Yeah. I
whatever
noticed that,
reason.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I noticed that last week.
Oh, we don't get a change of answer from priority. We get just the same rinse and repeat for months. You're like, come on. So
Yeah.
it's not an overnight process. You can't just separate out of a contract with someone, without having someone lined up, without making sure you're covered and all that. That's the work that's being put into trying to accomplish that. This is an issue. We all know it. We all see it. And we have to find a solution. And then with leaf pickup coming up here soon, like we're asking, it's like, do we want to go to a vacuum truck this year? Because last year they had it all broken down. But remember, they were supposed to buy a new truck just for that leaf service that they provide only to us. It's like, so where's that truck? What's the time schedule? Last year was not successful. It was a mess. So how are we going to make sure we don't do that again? So, yes, the garbage is the big conversation.
Why was it a mess last year? What
Yeah,
happened?
trucks were breaking down too, their equipment.
Leaves are out there
too.
forever. You blew the leaves out there. They're like, we're gonna come get it. And then you put them out there and then they blow across the street
Yeah.
because they don't get them.
And then, apparently they have to take a truck, they have to modify it, and they put this big catcher apparatus on the back of it so they can do that. And their solution this year is like, we're gonna have a designated crew and a truck designated just for those, brand new. And so we're still asking, like, did you buy it? I'm sure you can't buy it and have it show up 2 days later, ready to go. I'm sure it has to go through the shop. I'm sure it's a process, but we are trying to hope to avoid that the best means there. There are some towns in the area. We always use Sylvan Lake as an example that they actually use their vacuum trucks from Priority Waste to do all their leaf removal, and they're satisfied with the result. And we all know it's a cleaner. There's also cost, maintenance, and all the stuff that goes with it. And do they have an extra truck to be able to service us? So that's the other question. Is like, do we stick with the old plan, the old style we've always done with the Tinclaw? Or do we go to this different vacuum truck? And it's like, and then if there's breakdowns because people put sticks inside there, get something in propellers on the vacuum trucks, and the vacuum truck's down. And that's a very timely repair, so it's not coming back out that week.
Yeah, it seems like a vacuum truck makes more sense, but.
And it's clear, as long as everyone puts them on the street and it's just, piles leaves and all that, nice clean. We see them in communities all the time. It's a nice, even cleanup. It's, all you see is bare grass when you're done. You even get all like little clippings. It's like, we just have to do our due diligence as the residents to make sure that we're not putting large objects in there, baseballs, kids or something like that. But it is a cleaner one too, and I don't know how heavy they are if they get across the bridge to Oak Island or not. But even if that's just
Yeah.
the one area they gotta do it the old way.
Yeah.
But yes,
Nothing's too heavy to go across the bridge.
It'll make it.
Everything, seriously, it's like everybody's worried about what goes there, and it's like,
Okay,
these houses were all built.
anything else?
That's good. I mean, the rest of it was just, doing normal business.
Okay.
Whatever it is.
Mr. Planning Commission?
Planning Commission will have a meeting this month, next week. Did not have one last week, but this coming week, we already we got an agenda set. So looking forward to getting some work done with the Planning Commission next week.
What are you planning on planning?
Well, there's a couple of things that we got to, apparently there's some language that needs to get polished around the, I think it was last year or the year before, we talked about hot tubs and swimming pools and how those are designated and what constitutes what as far as ordinances, what you can have, what you can't. And it looks like we're going to have us take a look at what constitutes a quorum. I always thought it was a majority, but apparently is it the council that you got to have more than a majority?
Yeah, well, the take on that, or issues we're having is, if we could have council liaisons as alternatives. So say there's the council liaison, but say, I can't be here, can we then have another council member fill in?
Okay.
So at least the liaison position would be covered, there'd be someone here.
Yeah.
So you could have a quorum. So
Okay.
that's one thing they're trying to figure,
Sure.
can you do that? And especially issues like the ZBA, because it's a state managed board, that's.
Exactly. Yeah. So we're going to take a look at that.
That's a planning
They've
activity?
asked us to look at it. Dave wants us to look at it, so
All right.
we're going to look at it.
Interesting.
And that's it.
All right, comments from the board members?
Good to see you.
If not, good to see all you. Thanks for
Yeah.
showing up tonight. It's good to have people here.
Yeah.
And next meeting, September 16th.
Good.
Motion adjourned?
Second, all in favor?
Aye.